Here on our world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio and also AMFM 247.com. Tune in, iTunes, and Radio Loyalty. And we are going to get our next guests in here. And we go from Italian heavy metal guys to porn star perv magnets. Before we get to our next guest, we want to get Jaybird Wells in here and get things figured out. And before we get all this rolling, and this is going to be quite the interview. This is definitely going to be quite the interview. Can you guys hear me?
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Uh-oh.
No. Good thing I can read lips a little bit.
Look at that. Let me see.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Oh, you can hear her.
You can hear Jay.
Hey, sweet thing.
Let me
We can
see.
hear her, but
This
we can't
is
hear you.
okay. Hold on. This is
Do you
probably
want me to go?
on my end. Okay. Can you hear me now at all? There we go. Okay. I think what happened is Peter the cat hit a control on the board. He is our board op, but he only gets paid in Science Diet, so sometimes there are problems. But we have got we go from Italian heavy metal to porn stars and perv magnets. It is quite the deal today.
And I'm not the porn star, so that must be...
No. And we do have, I'll have to say that our guests, the last time we had both of them on singly, now they are on together. The grand return of the greediest slut. I just love that gimmick. You guys give us your information, how we find you guys online, all these things.
Okay, so the easiest thing you can do is just Google me, right? Aria Khaide. You can find me on Twitter. You find Chris on Twitter. I'm Aria Khaide XXX for Twitter. XO Aria Khaide on Instagram. You can find me on OnlyFans, ManyVids, Pornhub, Model Hub, clips for sale, and hopefully your phone background.
That is fantastic. That is great. We have got some great guests with us today. Aria Khaide, Chris Khaide is with us as well. And Chris, I will have to say, brother, you hit the jackpot by finding this lovely young woman. And as Beyonce says, put a ring on it.
I knew what I had.
Even though he turned me down on our first date.
Really?
Good time.
Yeah.
What?
I was holding out for the whole package.
Oh. Holding out for the whole package.
I knew if we kept it strictly oral, I was never seeing her again.
Okay, then.
That is fantastic. So you do Chris, you basically are you produce and edit these things and put all these videos together. Is that something that you learned on the fly because you guys got into porn, or?
Yes, actually. Exactly that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were just doing like POV stuff, having fun.
No editing.
No editing, just shooting, everything on our phones and whatnot. When we started to take it a little more seriously, I decided we needed to learn some skills, so I picked it up.
That's
Meanwhile,
awesome.
I just stick to my phone. One shot, this works.
You picked her up.
Yeah.
So, Aria, refresh some of our listeners with the fact that how'd you get the nickname, or as they say in professional wrestling terms, the gimmick of the greediest slut? I just think that is grand.
I'm gonna take that one away. I'm gonna take credit for that one.
Oh, really?
It's just simple. Oh yeah. Within the first couple months of knowing her, I knew that was true.
I'm just insatiable. I joke that the last time I was out in Vegas. I was out with some East Coast talent friends that's the agency, that does the booking for me. And the one girl, Sierra, I call her my porn wifey, her husband looks at me and goes, Aria, you're just so fucking insatiable. I can't handle you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Like, I'm in and out doing shoots all day. He's like, wait, you're back again? Yeah, I'm, just had my third shoot. What? So he just...
So are you taking, like, maca to help that out, or what?
No, I'm just super, super greedy. I mean, for the most part, I think I eat pretty well. And I mean, I used to be a D1 athlete back before I did this. So, and I'm running after 2 toddlers all the time. So at least I have the endurance for it. But, I mean, she takes care of the rest.
That's awesome. We have got 2 great guests with us today. We have had them on in the past singly, and I had to have them on both at the same time. Aria Khaide is with us, also Chris Khaide. You can get more information on Aria on the old Twitter machine, as they say. Aria Khaide XXX. That's ARIA KHAIDE XXX. So I'm trying to remember, is this a porn name or is this your given name?
So this is my porn name.
Because I'll tell you the spelling for this thing. I'm like.
Spelling for it, so I used to sing Soprano 1, and I also like Game of Thrones. So it's a little bit like Aria singing, Aria Game of Thrones, and then Khaide you can yell at Chris because that's his gamer name.
Yeah, that was my gamer tag. Just like a random name I made up, and that was her shout out to me when she went.
Yeah, that was like keeping the surname.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's kind of weird because usually I get to flirt with like female porn stars, but now I can't flirt with them because he's there.
He's all about it. He's like, sure, go ahead.
My wife is a porn star. I am clearly comfortable with sharing.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, hey, baby.
Okay.
So you recently, Aria, put up all sorts of different things on social media. How active are you on social media? Because it seems like you've got content for days, my friend.
So I have to say, what you see is what you get. This is my team. Like this is my team. There's no one doing my social media.
Thanks for the last minute shout out.
This is my team. Obviously he works in finance, so with stuff going on, for his day job, sometimes I have to use a great friend of mine to do some of the editing, but I'm doing all the tweets. I'm posting everything. I post about 2 or 3 times a day on OnlyFans, and I try to post, that 2 or 3 times on Twitter. I have to say Instagram is where I lack because I'm on my 4th account, and I'm really just fed up with it. I'm done with it. I'm a rule follower. Go figure. I'm in porn and I'm a rule follower. He laughs at me. I go to expos. I read the rules that everyone's breaking, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing this. And he's like, no one's listening to those rules.
I can't go out there with just pasties. They'll kick me out.
He's
Every other girl here is doing it.
Yeah. So I'm a rule follower, and I still have my accounts banned. So I was being better with Instagram posting daily, but now I post every other day, every 2 days on that. But my Twitter, my OnlyFans, my Pornhub, my ManyVids, I'm posting everything. I'm tweeting it out. It's me literally sitting there, sometimes with 2 toddlers, running after them, quickly tweeting, posting, or mid-shoot, or whatever it may be. So
do you film a whole bunch and then you take certain clips and then like slowly upload them?
So it depends. With everything that happened with shutdown, it became very real how much of a backlog you need, right? With the shutdowns and everything. Yeah. So this past Vegas trip, I had 5 content scenes, like full length. So anywhere from 20 to 45-minute scenes that I shot that I'll be uploading to my clip store. So I have that on a backlog. Sometimes other things will pop up and then I'll shift which I'm going to release first. I try to do a lot of things live on my social media, obviously on my Snapchat or my Twitter, to let everyone know, hey, this is what I'm doing right now, give you a little breadcrumb so that later when it comes back up, oh, I remember that post. So it depends. And if it's a slow week or it's a week, like I said, we have kids, so sometimes it gets hard with childcare. that I will be like, okay, this is going to be a week where I'm going to do photos. I'll do photo sets. I'll do a solo vid, to keep it fresh and new too for followers.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, basic rule of thumb is just shoot as much as you can when you can,
Yeah.
so you always have a backlog.
You
just in
always have
case.
backlog
That
of
was
content.
The first lesson I learned. The first lesson anyone told me, Richard Mann, who's an OG, was the first person that really taught me, the behind the scenes and some special tips as I was getting into it. And the first thing he said is content is king.
Yes.
No one really understands passive income. Everyone wants that cash right in hand, but I can wake up in the morning and I've sold 5 videos when I'm asleep. That's passive income, and a lot of people take that for granted. So content is king.
Now, you recently did a scene for Dog Fart, which I've always thought was the... I just always have laughed when I hear that title, Dog Fart.
Why are you saying dog fart and she's like clapping
Oh
hysterically?
my gosh, this was like
Dog Fart is
before I-
legendary in the porn world.
This company is amazing. I wanted to shoot with them since before I was in porn, and it was the kind of thing that I was almost asking people, like, can you just tweet at them and say that Aria would be really good, And so I went out there. I was super nervous. I had the luxury of shooting with 2 amazing individuals in the industry. Isaiah Maxwell and Prince they're stand-up gentlemen and stand-up guys.
I've seen a little bit of the scene. Yes, they are stand-up gentlemen, but you mean in a different form.
Yeah. That's my good way, But they really are. They are the sweetest guys, and they always have amazing content, everything that they shoot, and they make you feel so happy getting into it. And honestly, in the industry, I didn't realize that having a high self-worth, a high self-esteem would really be something I thought it would be like, oh, it's cat. Obviously there's catty and there are bad apples in every bunch, but for the most part, I've never felt this good about myself in my entire life. Coming from an amazing husband who, tells me how great I am, which is nice to hear, but then authentically having that as my cheerleader and, understanding who I am and being accepting of that and vice versa, and then the amazing people I've come in contact with. So that dog fart scene was a dream come true. They were great, and then Miles Long filmed it, and he and I, hit it off like fire and kerosene. We were just like going back and forth. We were having so much fun. Ended up doing dinner, talking cars. He loves cars. I've been brought up around cars. So it was really cool. It was just an amazing experience.
So you also have, I also noticed that you do a lot of tweeting, not just of your porn content, but I notice every once in a while that you will retweet sports-related tweets as well. Tell us a little bit about your sports activity.
Okay, so sometimes he doesn't like the ones that I pick. So I was brought up around Formula One racing. So every weekend we didn't have football in my house. So I love following Formula One racing, Indy racing, and everything like that. Indy just had their first race with spectators too this weekend, which was pretty big.
That's awesome.
They had 10,000 spectators, and obviously instead of full capacity.
Yeah.
So when I got to the age in high school where all of my friends were really into the Super Bowl and everything like that, I was like, okay, well, I'm being the type of person I am. I'm going to research to figure out what team I want to follow, because that's just the person I am. And I was a D1 lacrosse player and a lacrosse player growing up my whole life, and Bill Belichick was an All-American lacrosse player. So I went with the Patriots. They also recruit a lot of Jersey boys and a lot of guys out of Rutgers. I'm also a South Carolina Gamecocks fan. That's where we honeymooned. We actually honeymooned at the South Carolina Clemson football game, and we pretended that we were students. Please don't come after us, campus.
That's awesome. There they are right there on the phone, apparently. Go ahead.
So, we're into sports. We're diehard hockey fans. The two of us, honestly, I think if we had to pick one sport, it would be hockey.
Yeah, definitely.
Diehard Devils fans, too. So it really depends on the season, and I don't think the stereotypical sports season fanatic, we're hockey fans. We're not wondering what the March Madness is. I was a lacrosse player. He was year-round hockey anyway, so everyone's now, oh, baseball. Well, I'm a lacrosse player, so it's, sometimes I'd say retweeting or following sports teams that everyone else might not be, so.
That's pretty
We
cool.
have got two great guests with us today. Aria and Chris Cade join us here on our big broadcast, and our next guest is waiting on the telephone. We'll get to them here in just a few moments. Now, Chris, you're a producer, you're a performer, you're a videographer. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the performing part of it, or are you one of these behind the scenes guys that's like, I just really like putting the videos together?
I would say I'm probably more of a voyeur than an exhibitionist.
Yes.
For me to really enjoy a scene, I have to kind of be into the premise of the scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them both, to be honest. Like I said, I've shot some amazing scenes that I had a really good time with, in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Fantastic. So, tell me about some of the different, different things that you've learned in your time of producing and putting content together. Because you said that you kind of learned all this on the fly.
Yeah. I was surprised at how much practice it took to get efficient at video editing. So like basic video editing, fairly simple. Probably anybody can figure it out. It's not too complicated. But the difference between somebody who just learned how to video edit and somebody who's been doing it for a while can save you literally hours of effort for a single video. I know Aria was talking about one of our friends who does some editing for us,
Suzanne.
Yeah.
Suzanne, and she just busts through scenes like nothing. Like she can.
I'll
edit a
send it to
full-length
her, and
scene
then 30
in
minutes
half
later, I get it back, and I'm like, what? That would have taken us a day to do.
an hour. Right.
Where
So
were you
to
guys
have-
last night when I was editing?
What else have we learned?
I learned that I really can't listen to myself or look at myself. I have to go to him half the time, even if it's a quick video or a picture. I'm like, okay, which one? You look at this, you tell me which one looks best or sounds best and everything. I think we probably realize, too, how much you don't realize there's a lot of, color balancing in video editing, too. Like, obviously, yes, you knew you had to perfect it, but the amount of color balancing and, the amount of making sure that audio,
And the importance of lighting.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another
Yes.
big one I learned.
You know what's funny about that is
or photography, just the sheer importance of like not only having enough light but having your light sources positioned properly.
yes.
You mean like how the light behind Jiggy makes him look angelic when he's not?
I will have to say that in the very beginning, when we started doing all this crap, Ross Long, my one of my great friends, he told me very early on, he's like, lights are always important. I don't care about any of that other crap. It's the lighting.
That's
So
because it can create a mood.
It's really good, but it's not,
yeah,
It can create a mood. It can create emotions. It can make you scared. It can make you happy.
Yeah, it's true.
very much so. So
I try to avoid
shut my
making
mouth.
people scared.
That's your boner category, I guess.
Oh my god, horror porn.
I'm sure there is.
Oh, there is.
Like, but what would that be like? Fumbling with a condom and it's broken, and you only had one, or I can't get my second one, like
Or are you
oh,
taking?
no, I've got toilet paper on my shoe, like
Somebody's taking a needle on the condom.
Exactly.
So Chris, what is your process as far as production? Once something's been shot and you've been given, what happens with the editing? Where do you start?
It depends on a couple things. It depends on how the scene was shot. It depends on what type of scene it was.
many
Some
cameras?
shoots you try to maintain an unbroken scene. So you try to keep things together as much as possible. Just make it seamless, so it really feels like the viewer is there. Other things, you may be shot in pieces, or you're trying to tell a certain story. and those you'll have to piece together. So
Yeah.
a thing that I learned is the difficulties of lining up video clips.
Yes.
When you're working with two angles,
Syncing everything together and all that.
Yeah, so the first thing I'll usually do is sync everything up, get a solid seamless timeline going, and then I'll start picking out my favorite bits and working on how to use those to tell the story I'm trying to tell.
Yeah, the favorite bits, right?
So, Aria, one of the things that we got after we last had you on, I got a lot of great feedback from folks, but I also got a heck of a lot of people who went to your Twitter and they're like, "She just looks like a bitch," and
Good.
no,
Friendly.
There's a time to look like a bitch and be sexy. And
Well,
a time to look innocent
what's
and be
great
sexy.
is that
But I don't really smile in pictures. Anyway, any producer or videographer that says, "All right, Aria, smile," I'm not retweeting that picture. I've never been one to have that cheesy smile in pictures. A lot of people do. That is pretty much the first thing that I get in person is like, "Wow, you're so bubbly in person," and I'd rather it be that way, that everyone thinks I'm a bitch, instead of having a million people come at me, then I'm like, all right, no, like, I'm not that nice. If it was the opposite.
It's also part of the brand, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a million 18-year-old girls out there with perfect bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Who can play the innocent role, and that's more power to them. That's great. But that's not Aria's niche. You know what I mean?
Well, and also Aria, you explained that that's just part of the New Jersey smirk or whatever.
It is. It's my Jersey girl. It comes out, the smirk, the eyebrow raise, the Vivian Leigh, eyebrow raise, on the one side. So
It was like, I sent a picture to somebody. It was a flirting smile, but it wasn't a smile, and so somebody said that it was like angry looking. I'm like, I was flirting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's funny how each person will interpret an expression too. There is sometimes like, oh my god, that's like the come fuck me look, and I'm like, that one? That's what you got out of that picture? Oh, okay. So it's funny how, but yes, I'm definitely a lot more. I'll give myself a nice adjective, a nice stoic, more like put together look is definitely what I go for more. But then in person, I am this goofy, bubbly girl. And everyone always loves, my subscribers on OnlyFans love when I do live shows that aren't necessarily me just being like, oh, I'm naked, I'm doing stuff. I always open my live shows talking and chit-chatting and answering questions, and they just love seeing how goofy bubbly I am in person. So what you see is what you get, but on the pictures I will always give you the Jersey smirk.
That's awesome. Now, you recently, Aria, worked with someone who we interviewed her a few times on this program in the past, Lexi Luna.
Oh, I love Lexi. Lexi's amazing. So we met Lexi probably a year ago.
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Was that long? No, a year and a half, because it was August in Portland. So it was last year. Yeah. So it was last year at Portland Exotica that we met them, and it was because it was so empty that we got to speak to other performers who maybe would have been mobbed by so many fans, and we hit it off right away. And just our attitudes are so similar, and I actually stayed with her when I was out in LA shooting.
That's
and
awesome.
We had never done anything. We've hung out at different Exoticas, we've chatted, we've had fun, just hanging out in each other's hotel rooms as a group, but we never had gotten our hands on each other. So it was so nice to be like, oh, we finally got our hands on each other. We did 2 scenes, and honestly, they are just such authentic, real scenes. There's no, what do you want to do? Do you want a storyline? Do you want to do this? It was just like, okay, let's do this. And it was just such a natural flow. There was no stopping and starting. It was just us having so much real fun. And it's always hard sometimes to find girls that authentically love girls, and we both are two people that authentically love women. So.
And I can attest to the fact that it definitely can.
That is awesome. That is fantastic.
Well, I kissed a girl and I liked it, but I haven't got to have that.
Yes.
That
well, my first
connection.
experience in a relationship or sexually was with a woman too. So, yeah.
Well, as we wrap up here with you guys, what is next for you guys? What do you guys have coming out? Any new content? Anything like that?
So yesterday I just released a scene where I played usually I do Gonzo and I'd never tried dick before, and my girlfriend cheated on me, so I called up Will Tile and he gave me his. So I just released that yesterday. I now have many vids and my Pornhub model hub. Next week, you will be getting a double blowjob scene with the beautiful Shelby Paris, who is lots of fun to work with too, and she also loves girls, so we kind of played with each other, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be doing this scene where we both suck a dick too. Oh, sorry, we were just getting caught up, in the moment. So that was a really fun, authentic scene too that we did, and I'm posting nonstop on my OnlyFans. My OnlyFans subscribers get to see what my Halloween theme clip is going to be too this year, and let's just say that it's not stereotypical, and I'm very excited from a creative standpoint of how he laughs at me because I just call it my sleep-deprived mom brain of how I get all these ideas, and then I get really excited about them. There's going to be another girl-girl scene from Lexi Luna coming out. There's going to be another scene with Will Tile. She Seduced Me scene will be coming out. So within the next month, every Saturday I release those on my clip stores, and every Friday afternoon my OnlyFans subscribers get that. But like I said, my OnlyFans subscribers get at least 3 posts a day from me.
Fantastic.
So the best way to see all of me is on my OnlyFans.
Yeah, her OnlyFans subscribers also get all of her content a day early and 40% off.
50 actually, sometimes 60. Yeah.
A good chunk off. So if you plan on buying lots of Aria's content, you might as well just subscribe to her OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
For that, in addition to all the other great stuff.
Look at that. Chris is the marketer. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for doing this. Really enjoyed the conversation.